off the deck, puts up the three. So silky smooth, and he's got himself another one. SGA having to work for it, little up and under, and then use the long stride. Pretty point. Giddey keeps it himself and takes it up as he glides with the finger roll.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Uncontested Postgame Show, a proud part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and DailyThunder.com. I'm your host for the night, JD Silva, here to discuss the Thunder's 112-103 loss to the Detroit Pistons. Before I get started, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating if you haven't done so already. We really appreciate it. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Alongside me tonight, Jacob Niffin.
What's up, Silva? I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Our intro there is scripted, and it sounds like you are reading a damn ransom note.
I am reading a ransom note.
After tonight, it kind of feels like it, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. Hey, we might not be on Twitter for too much longer. Old Elon just... Oh, hello, Taylor.
Didn't quite make it before the.
Oh, you actually did. Actually, it's good. We're good.
Is the Uncontested paying the $8 a month for that blue check, boys?
Shoot, apparently we all are going to have to.
You may have to.
Even on blue check marks.
You'll get defeated by the algorithm if you don't pay $8.
All right, let's not talk about Twitter. Let's talk about this ass-tastic basketball game.
Yeah, starting lineup for the night: SGA, Giddey, Dort, surprise, J-Dub at the 4, and JRE at the center. Boys, this was quite the stinker, ultimately. Let's go through the 4 takeaways I have for this game tonight. Number 1, Taylor's gone. No, number 1, I think SGA needs help. He is the only guy for this team right now. Number 2, I think Lou Dort is becoming a little damaging to the offense when he's out there. You tweeted or sent a Slack DM that the defense is not necessarily worth it at times. I really felt that tonight. Number 3, Josh Giddey does not look like himself right now. We could talk about why that is. And the last one, number 4, Mark Daignault's rotations aren't making a ton of sense to me. So let's go through this game step by step. Feel free to chime in if you guys had any other observations as I go through quarter by quarter, breaking this one down. Quarter 1, the first thing that caught my eye was that Josh Giddey was playing way out of rhythm. Didn't look like himself, like I said in one of our takeaways. Was out of rhythm and unsure. But regardless, SGA took over, scoring 16 points, tallying 3 blocks and a steal in the first. Detroit was keeping up on offense, particularly because of pounding the offensive glass.
Mm-hmm.
Quarter 2 comes around.
Well, before you move on,
yes.
Quarter 1,
mm-hmm.
Shea didn't take his first shot till like 7 minutes left in the quarter and then put up 16. It was like once Giddey went off the court is when Shea started cooking. I don't think that's a coincidence.
No.
Agreed.
Quarter 2, immediately Josh gets crossed into oblivion by Killian Hayes. I'm glad I have not seen a replay of that anywhere.
It's because he missed the shot. If he made the shot, that lives on the internet forever.
Yeah, thank God he didn't. It was just adding insult to injury for old Joshy tonight. Thunder generally were playing good defense, and no one on Detroit's roster was really popping off at that point. They were shooting horribly from 3. They were like 3 of 18 near the end of halftime. We saw SGA continuing to go off and talking some trash to Jaden Ivey in the second.
Awesome.
Was awesome. We don't see that
crazy
side of
sequence too. Like he gets blocked, then he's able to initiate contact, draw the foul, make the shot, and he's just talking mad trash.
He got in his face too.
He did.
Told him we were never going to draft your trash ass at number 2.
We don't see personality like that from Shea that often, so that was awesome. Trey Mann got going a little bit in the second. Didn't see it much beyond that from Trey tonight, but he did get going in the second. And then halftime is over, and immediately out of the quarter, the Thunder just appeared that they stayed in the locker room. The lead, I think, was 12 or 15 at half.
15.
And it was very quickly down to 3. It was just 1 3 after another from Detroit. Thunder weren't playing good defense like they normally do. And they were just bad again all of a sudden. And then Lou Dort started to. It was like all the bad mojo from Josh. He started to look better, and then Dort started to look way worse.
29-8 run to start the second half from Detroit. Sorry, I was digging for that.
No, feel free. Yeah. just looked really bad, and it was very clear the momentum was swinging in Detroit's direction. This is where the rotation question starts to come in and who Dagnott was playing. Dort continued to look bad, but Trey Mann stayed out. J-Dub was pulled. It was just strange, and the Thunder started to look just funky out there, I thought. SGA continued to be dominant, had a dominant night overall, but no one else really got the job done on offense for the Thunder.
Silva, and this is where I get confused, and we'll talk about this with the rotations, but Shea played all 12 minutes in the third quarter. That's not something you do if you're trying to lose a basketball game.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, that's kind of where the conflicting things with the rotations and trying to wing. I don't know. Anyways, Shea plays all 12 for it's another observation I had for the third that I found interesting.
He played all 12 in the first as well. That's kind of his Shea is really the only one that has a normal rotation.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys, it's just we'll talk about it when we get to your analysis.
Yeah, different every night. But the lead is now essentially evaporated. What was once a 15-point lead is gone at this point. Quarter 4 rolls around. Thunder playing very sloppy ball and like weirdly being thrown off by Detroit's athleticism, I thought. Like Jalen Duren, I really noticed him out there, blocked Josh a couple times, was just altering things on both ends of the glass.
Hamidou Diallo
all over the
freaking
game out of
place.
nowhere. Yeah, looked really good. His athleticism was like a real issue. I should not ever notice Hamidou Diallo that much, but he was on every play. I felt like in the fourth, he was hurting us in some way. Dort just continued to blow it near the end of the game, and Mike Muscala tried to pull him out. Scored like 11 points in 11 minutes. And boys, that was about it. There was a horrible reversed charge with like a minute and a half left in the game.
That was a bad call, but I don't want to hear it about that.
No.
You gave up a 15-point lead and just proceed like it's like the Thunder ate like 5-day-old Taco Bell and just continued to just shit down their leg for the entire half.
Yeah.
I mean, but before we get into your analysis, Silva, I don't know about you guys. So I went to the gym before the game because I wanted to get home and be able to sit on the couch and watch the game. And I was going to make dinner at halftime. And I was too fired up. I was like on the phone. I was talking to my dad about the game. Like I had the feeling at halftime. I was like, dude, this team's about to be 5-5. And by the end of the week, I think they'll be 6-6. I think they'll lose to the Bucks and beat the Raptors. And they'll be 6-6. Maybe they'll beat the Knicks and they'll be 7-6. And none of us thought that would happen. Now I have no faith in that at all. A half later. I mean, it's been a long time since I felt so differently about this team in the span of like 75 minutes. It was it was a massive shift.
I was definitely crafting my little narrative at half. I was like, everyone said Detroit was like going to be so much better, going to make the plan. I literally had a headline written into my notes. The difference between Detroit and OKC is that OKC has a superstar. That was going to be the story of the game. And then they still do have a superstar, but like everyone else just let him down, I think.
There was literally nobody else who was able to step up tonight outside of Shea, which was, I mean, maybe Mike Muscala to an extent, but like Jacob mentioned, Muscala's had a rough start to the season, but you can't really blame him when the minutes are so inconsistent. The rotations are so inconsistent. So a lot kind of goes back to that main takeaway. But I think you guys are right. I think it just shows, maybe a positive note here, just how special Shea truly is, the leap that he's making, what he's been able to do on the floor with all this other stuff going on around him, rotation-wise and teammate-wise. I think it's pretty incredible.
It's a really good point. Let's break into some personal analysis. You guys feel free to chime in with your own analysis at any point when I go through the list here. My question heading in, because the Thunder looked so bad against the Bucks without Giannis, were the Bucks just that good on defense without Giannis, or what? What was going on with OKC's offense? Obviously, the takeaway here is that Shea is awesome and everyone else struggled. So we can go through some of those performances. We can start with Lou Dort, 3 of 12 on the night, a ton of bad decisions.
Oof. 7 points on 12 shots.
Oof.
There were some drives where he would drive in and then jump up in the air and turn around and just like toss the ball up. And there's no like.
To start the second half there, he had that play where
Yeah, I'm like the creator of the Wu-Tang Clan. I love Lou.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he has been bad. And Justin talked about this extensively last night on the Sunday show. He feels like they are trying to put these guys in different positions and make them uncomfortable and make them grow. And I understand that. I don't know what growth is happening here with Lou. Like, dude, I about threw my phone through the television in the first quarter. I'm sure you guys remember this. Thunder get a turnover, get a hit ahead, and Lou shoots a walk-in three, step-in three with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're shooting 18% on the season. Let's run some offense here. What are you doing? Silva, you mentioned it earlier. I mentioned in your thoughts, he's been really bad. The defense has been fine. It's not insane defense. It's above average defense. What he's taking away offensively, he's not making up for defensively. And for a team that everybody has a weird short leash except for Shea, it's strange how much Dort is getting.
Agreed.
He's been really bad. And you mentioned it, the third quarter, they yanked J-Dub instead of him.
That was bad.
Very confused.
So I finally see, I think all three of us tweeted it at some point, Silver from the account and Jacob and I on our personal accounts, that we're ready to see Trey Mann come in. Trey Mann finally comes up to the scorers table with about 6 minutes left in the third. I'm like, okay, here we go. Finally. And it's not even for Dort. Dort's still on the court.
It's so strange. It's so strange. I know he just got a new contract. Surely they're not just justifying the contract by playing him a ton. Is that just a respect thing? I don't know. It does not look good. And I think it's stopping a ton of, it's like what I used to get mad at Bays for and still do at times, where you just that offensive possession just becomes his and nothing else happens. Dort has been doing that.
Great comparison. Tunnel vision.
Total tunnel vision. Very, very frustrating.
He's got to rein it in. I don't know.
He needs to be the fifth offensive option. Or
12
the
shots is way too much.
Right. Yeah.
Way too much.
He should never, in the ideal Thunder world, a year and a half, 2 years from now, surely he is not in this role, and he is just taking corner threes and maybe
cuts to the rim and stuff.
Cuts to the rim, and that's it. You really missed our boy Chet tonight. I feel like would have been a massive help.
I've missed Chet every night.
Every single night. Me too.
Okay.
I at one point was at a Wolverine meme generator. I Googled that on Twitter and was going to put Chet's picture in it.
Yeah.
Then something happened and I got distracted.
Let's move on to another tough performance in Josh Giddey, also 4 of 12. Lewis 3 of 12, Josh 4 of 12. I feel like the first quarter was really, really tough. He had a stretch, and I think it was the third that looked pretty good.
I thought the second he looked really good.
Yeah. And then he just came crashing back down. It was I put in my notes as I was watching. Weirdly, every shot is a floater of some kind from him right now. He's not going to his mid-range shots at all. I don't think he took a normal jump shot tonight. Everything was just floating it off the rim in some weird angle.
He was forcing a lot of stuff. It was like he never played basketball before. It was like he was that kid at the YMCA that thinks he's got too much sauce.
Yeah.
But he's just doing crazy stuff. Something ain't right. That boy ain't right.
The game, I even saw his demeanor change, right? To your point, Jacob, he went from I'm going to force myself out of this funk into more of a mentally defeated look. He certainly seems to be in his own head. And I don't know. It's just kind of ironic. You hear about the sophomore slump, and then you see guys have really good sophomore seasons, obviously. But he certainly seems to be in a sophomore slump.
Didn't play the last 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it doesn't close
in a crunch time game.
It doesn't close again.
25 minutes on the night. I mean, Kenrich Williams got more than him. Trey Mann almost got basically the same amount as him. Lots of guys got kind of in that range, but only 25 minutes for Josh, which was really interesting.
Very.
He's struggling bad.
He looked his best on the fast break, and that was basically it. And he looked like that last year too. He did make some nice passes. I don't know what is it because of has Shea's ascent affected him?
It feels like it because he looked like a different guy in preseason.
Yeah. I agree.
Supreme confidence, had control of everything, finishing at the rim, making all these great plays. And it's now he gets out there and Shea is cooking, and he just like doesn't really know what to do and is just being awkward.
Agreed. And I would even push back just a tad and say it's not even just Shea's ascent as much as it is just playing alongside with Shea. And he from the very beginning of the season, he's looked timid. Looked a little timid and worried about the balance rather than just letting the game come to him and playing his own game. I'm just fascinated to see how Daigneault and the coaching staff's able to manage that and see if they can really optimize Shea and getting playing time.
Yeah.
How do you build chemistry there?
Yeah, you think it would help to have a guy like Trey Mann next to them a lot of the times, or another shooter. Trey Mann and J-Dub is who I want to see next to them a lot of times. I need to see how many minutes that exact lineup has played. It feels like not a lot. And we can use that as a segue to talk about Trey Mann.
Okay, because I wanted to talk about J-Dub too. You just mentioned him a little bit. So
yeah. Quickly on Trey Mann, had a nice first half. I thought he finished the night 3 of 10. It's a bit of a weird second half. He also does not feel like in rhythm. His drives don't seem to be as effective to me. Last season, I felt like we saw him do a lot more around the rim, like wraparound passes, crafty floaters, and those just aren't going in right now.
Yeah, the only 3 shots he made were all from the 3-point line. He missed all the 2s he took. 3 assists is nice. I thought he had some good rebounds. But yeah, it's like he had a little spurt and then just completely disappeared.
I'm not going to lie. I was tweeting out there towards the end of the game, and I still stand by this to an extent that, like, why can Trey Mann not get back in the game? And I understand the whole defensive thing, but, like, again, we talked about Lou, kind of different leanway, I think, for different players that Daigneault seems to have. But then I look at the box score here, and like Jacob said, I see that Mann took 10 shots. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I was a little too aggressive there tweeting about that towards the end of the game. I think you nailed it on the head, Silva, when you compared it to Giddey. Obviously, 2 very different players, but they both seem to be going through very similar struggles. And how do I fit in this system and not overstep the boundaries? And it's almost hindering each of their strengths.
Yeah, it's nice to have Shea in the meantime just totally dominate the game while they figure their own stuff out. But we'll see how that moves on. We can talk about J-Dub, who he took 6 shots, finished 3 of 6. I'm curious, Jacob, I know you had thoughts on J-Dub. What did you think of his performance tonight?
I like him a lot, dude. He needs to shoot more than 6 times. Josh Giddey shot 12 times in 25 minutes. J-Dub shot 6 times in 31 minutes. I think J-Dub needs to shoot the ball more. They kind of had him initiate offense down the stretch there in the fourth, and the ball moved really well. I tweeted about it tonight. He is such a good cutter. Yes. Like, he is just a very smart basketball player. I think the best offensive possession of the game came there late in the second quarter, where there was like a drive and a kick and then an alternate drive and dish to another cutter. Which ended up with like a JRE free throws. But J-Dub was kind of like the catalyst to that. He's just a really smart basketball player, and I think he's a really good defender too. I was really impressed with his ability to keep his feet down and slide with guys. He had the Bojan Bogdanovic matchup early and like just never jumped on pump fakes. He's just a really sound player. I want him to shoot more. He's got a really nice like driving to the basket game. He finishes nice with his left hand. I definitely want to see him shoot more 3s. But he's really impressed me. I thought he earned the start tonight. I thought he played really well in his start tonight. I think a lot of people are going to look at it and say like, oh, look at his stat line. You only had like 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists.
Stealing a block.
Stealing a block. But yeah, 50% from the field. He should have had another basket. He had a nice little reverse on the baseline and just rolled off. But he's impressed me a lot. I think he will continue to get more minutes.
The fact that he had 30 minutes says a ton there, right? That is one guy, especially with how, we keep talking about how strict Daigneault is with some of these guys. Trey Mann, Josh Giddey to an extent, Darius Baisley this season. We talk about the short leashes. This is a player who's come in as a rookie and has already earned Daigneault's trust.
Only guy to get more minutes than him tonight is Shea.
Yeah. And like you said, Jacob, I love how he fits. I mean, he's just so versatile. You can throw him in a starting lineup like tonight, and he's going to fit just perfect. The off ball, being able to play off ball. He guarded
Bojan. He guarded Cade. He guarded Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, and that's the versatility defensively. But there was even one possession. This might have been the first half, even towards the end of the second quarter. J-Dub passes the ball into Shea. Shea gives it right back. So that's him showing confidence in J-Dub that, hey, I want you to initiate the offense. And sure enough, it led to a really nice play where J-Dub dumped a really nice bounce pass to, I think it was Kenrich. Regardless, I do want to see J-Dub have the ball in his hands a little more. And that's where, we want all these things, right? But that's where it gets so difficult. Like, how do you balance J-Dub getting the ball in his hands more and getting Giddey and Shea chemistry built and getting Trey Mann back and confident again, right? Like, it's so many different balls to juggle right now. And I don't know. I'm curious to see how Daigneault does it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no threes attempted for J-Dub tonight, which I was a little bit shocked by. I felt like he had some opportunities to do that. So hopefully we see that number go up, like Jacob said. Moving on to another topic. Do you want to talk about Mark Daigneault's rotations and like what his motivations might be behind that? Because nothing is ever really consistent there, like you said at the top of the show, besides Shea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, a standard basketball fan, Aaron Wiggins would have been really nice to see tonight. I feel like he would have been really helpful. Can hit corner threes, can defend, generally all the size archetypes.
You tweeted that out like 2 seconds from the account before I was going to, Silva, and I agree with you.
No minutes. No minutes at all tonight from him. What are you guys' thoughts on what Mark is trying to do here?
I think part of it is just trying to keep guys engaged and get everyone an opportunity and see what fits. Right now, you're at the throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks phase. It's a double-edged sword. Mm-hmm. Half of it is we want to keep everybody engaged, right? And everybody is always ready to go in. But the other half of it is the human condition is we like routine and we like structure, and that makes us feel comfortable. And when you don't have it, you can't get comfortable, and not being comfortable on the basketball court is a problem because if you can't get comfortable, you don't get in a rhythm and you can't make shots.
A la Trey Mann, Josh Giddey,
Mm-hmm.
Right?
All these other players we're talking about, yeah.
It's odd. And I do wonder, is it ultimately going to be more of a good thing or a bad thing? Because, I mean, it really does seem like the issue with some of these players that we talked about tonight is rhythm. And I don't know how you get that if your minutes are so inconsistent and if your leash is so short.
It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's, well, we can't find a lineup that functions right, so I'm rotating guys in and out. But since you're rotating guys in and out, that's why you can't find anything that works, because you're never letting guys settle in. You know, I'm not going to question Mark. I think he's a great basketball coach.
Yeah.
But I can see why people like us and fans of the game and fans of the team can look at it and just be like, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense.
I tweeted out, and I think I've joked about it on the pod before, this is almost like a half joke. But you do have to think at a certain point, right? Like, especially after games like tonight, games like we saw Thursday night, where you do wonder, like, is this a stealthy way of essentially tanking, right? Is what I'm getting at. I don't know if I want to be that blunt and straightforward, because
Taylor is all about the conspiracies. Theories.
That's right. Just call me Kyrie Irving over here. And you know, Daigneault's going to tell you it's for player development, trying to get data on different rotations and lineups, and I get that, but you know, it makes me wonder. But here's the thing.
Playing Shea 38 minutes isn't tanking, my guy.
That's what I was going to say. When you have Shea playing 12 straight minutes in the third, you have Kenrich Williams closing the game. Obviously, he's not trying to lose. I don't understand, like, not playing Aaron Wiggins, to your point, Silva, when some of these other guys are struggling. He has these predetermined games where certain players aren't going to play, so you can get more sample size of other players, get them more opportunity to develop, get the ball in their hands more. And yet we're still running into these things like we've been talking about with, you know, we'd like to see Trey have the ball in his hands more. J-Dub have the ball in his hands more. We want to see Shea and Giddey work out kinks and start to build on their chemistry. And how do you do all these things when all these different guys are getting playing time, when they're, like Jacob said, they're out of sorts, they're not getting in a rhythm because they don't have a regular rotation. You have Trey Mann worried about getting yanked if he makes one mistake. Like, how's he supposed to get comfortable?
Yeah.
And so I question mark here on that. And this is something I would like to hear him discuss in more detail. I hope maybe some of the OKC media ask him a little more about it. Because I'm not really content with the answer right now of, oh, well, I want everybody to be ready at all times. And it's early in the season. We want to get data on different lineups. I think it's becoming a little detrimental to these guys and their development. And how do you tote the line of developing these players, but also, all these players at once, but also does that get to a point where maybe it's going a little too far, I guess?
Yeah. I'm totally with you. Like Kenrich and Mike Muscala tallied 40 combined minutes tonight. I feel like they aren't the goal of this developmental process. So why is that happening? It's tough, but trust in the Dags and he shall bless you in some way. We'll see.
Hey, Oos also got 20 minutes.
He did. And
some more solid.
I know what you're about to say. I think, Silva, I got to beat you to the punch.
Yeah.
Bazley played really well. Really well. Was that what you were about to say?
No, I was going to say Ooze. I liked some of the stuff Ooze did, but I do agree that Bazley played well.
Ooze shot the ball like garbage tonight,
yes.
1 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
But Bazley, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. I thought he came in and made a massive difference on the glass, boxing out. He was stepping into passing lanes. My man got a wild hair in his ass there in the third quarter and decided to go ISO for 3 straight possessions and like 3 air balls.
Just spamming the crossover button.
Yeah.
Confidence.
I think whenever he plays within that role and he's really aggressive, really good game by Bazley tonight. I've ragged on the dude a ton because I don't think he's a good fit for this team. I think he's an okay basketball player and he's got a chance to put it together. Tonight was him putting it together. That's the kind of Bazley that can help you win basketball games off the bench.
He only had 2 or 3 insane possessions. If Poku on a given night only has 2 or 3 insane possessions, we're feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah.
So I'll take it.
How much does this team miss Poku the last 2 games?
Yes,
dude.
That was going to be my intro, but I was late.
He is the connector. He stirs the pot.
I'm missing that Poku nectar. I'm missing that Poku juice.
He's got bursitis, which
got the nectar inside of him.
He does that. That's gross.
Might need an injection of nectar to get rid of it. Ugh.
Oh my god! All right, let's begin to wind down here. Observation I made that I feel like you two may have also made. Detroit has a Trey and Usman situation on their hands with Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Livers. Couldn't tell them apart.
That's good. That's really
same
good.
hair, got the armband. It's around the same height. Tough.
Hey, one observation I had after watching the game Saturday night and tonight, I feel pretty high up on the scouting report for the Thunder. For when other teams are reading the Thunder scouting report, in big bold letters underlined, it says "hit the offensive glass."
Yeah,
I just feel like the Thunder have been bludgeoned on the offensive glass. And part of it is you just went up against Bobby Portis and then Isaiah Stewart, 2 of the toughest dudes in the league. Yeah. So that makes sense. That just feels like they're getting bludgeoned on the boards.
The Thunder were just gulping down the beef stew tonight.
Beef stew and Poku nectar.
I know.
That is interesting considering where the Thunder. Again, technically they still are starting the season, but
you would think JRE would have been the right matchup tonight. But my man got 15 minutes and his ass got yanked.
He was getting
on the bench.
After 7 points and a pretty decent stat line in the first half.
Yeah, he got cooked. He's like the fat kid vine. It's fried chicken. It's fried
barbecue chicken.
Weirdly, the teams both had 16 offensive rebounds. I feel like a lot of those were just counted as little tap ups. There were a lot of bunny hopping.
To that point, I was going through again. This is why I probably should look at stats and stay on top of them throughout the game. Tonight I wasn't able to, but here I was tweeting about how awful the Thunder are as a 3-point shooting team, and yet they hit 1 more 3 than the Detroit Pistons on the same amount of attempts, 33 each for each team.
Yeah, but what's interesting is Detroit, if you look at their starting lineup, 3-point attempts, 7-7-2-7-7. You look at the Thunder's starting lineup, 3-point attempts, 4-0-6-0-1.
I'd like to take a guess on who the 6 is without looking at probably Lujan Stort.
Oh, yeah.
You would be right. You would be right. Another stat, OKC took 16 less free throws.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
The refs were not great. That is
they
not why the Thunder lost the game. They would, if the Thunder got every call, they still probably would lose this game, but they were not great.
Yeah, it does feel like a lot of those were on like putback attempts.
Shea still only missed one free throw in the season. Dude's like
Insane.
98% from the free throw.
That is an
We've kind of buried the
folks.
lead. That guy is fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I felt a little weary about making my all-star bet.
It's a great bet now.
We're 10 games in. We're talking all NBA right now.
He is Himothy right now.
I mean, are you guys a little worried
MVP.
about him not shooting threes like at all? Like he shot like 1 3 the past 3 games.
I think the hope is that his teammates will hit threes.
I feel
and
bad
just,
for him because that dude made the right
me
play
too.
every possession down the stretch, spraying it out to wide open shooters who just
Oh,
I mean-
okay. So to add on to my conspiracy theory, Shea's getting these minutes because Mark's trying to keep him bought in through the
get out of
losing.
here.
Hey,
Go look up QAnon, Taylor, and leave us alone.
I had
I'm gonna go check out that.
flashbacks
No,
of
I'm not even. I hate Kyrie. I'm not even going to joke about that.
I did have some flashbacks like the old Russ on-off numbers whenever Shea was out there
The
just
MVP
passing
season.
it to just
Great
some
points.
jabronis that couldn't shoot. Yeah, a lot of that was happening tonight. All right,
One of
yeah.
those jabronis played for the Detroit Pistons tonight. Shout out my beloved Hamadou. I still believe.
Thunder just needs some guys to be efficient. 3 of 9, 1 of 7, 3 of 10, 4 of 12, 3 of 12, 2 of 7. Like, hit a damn shot, man.
Hey, figure it out.
Figure it out. Just do it.
All right, before we get out of here, let's look ahead and suffer at what might become of the Thunder in the coming week. Next game, Wednesday versus the Bucks in OKC. Let's hope to God that Giannis does not play.
He will. He played tonight.
He
Although
will.
they lost tonight, didn't they? To Atlanta?
Did they?
Oh, I didn't see the final score there.
It's hard to keep track because there's 15
know.
dadgum games going on tonight.
Once we get off here, I'm turning
They
on
did
the
lose.
what is it? Clutch time? Is that what they call
Clutch
it?
time, yeah.
The
yeah.
NFL Red Zone equivalent.
Where's that
Pretty
score
sweet.
at?
98-117, Atlanta won.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh!
That's a big time
That's a
one.
big time dub. And the Pacers
They're
beat
making it.
New Orleans. Weird night.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Lakers are going to lose again. The Jazz are good.
Jazz are
I don't care what you say. The
weirdly
Jazz are just
good.
good.
Yeah.
They've got some like insane chemistry.
Trader
Jordan
Danny needs
Clarkson
to go and
MVP
pull all those
season.
levers.
Also, I want to give a quick shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are currently getting waxed by 20, the New York Knicks. And well, he scored a little bit more now, but at like halftime, Ant-Man took like 4 shots and just does not give a crap about it. He hates it. He's pissed.
Oh God.
Do it, Presty. Do it.
Do it. He'll love it in Oklahoma City.
Victor Schmichter. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Beyond the Bucks game. So,
We're going to title that Bucks podcast Milwaukee Bucks the Thunder.
all right.
The Thunder get
Thunder
bucked.
get bucked. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
So
I
let's
actually
just
think we've done that in the past.
No. Rapid fire versus the Bucks, probably an L. Put the Thunder at 4-7.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors. Is that
Give
an
me the
L or a
win.
dub?
Give me the
Okay.
win.
Yeah,
5 and
No
7.
I kind of want
Pascal.
to go back and say I think that they might weirdly get the win against the Bucks and then lose against Raptors.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird that I see them getting a win.
Mhm.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think Bobby Portis is going to probably just beat the shit out of somebody. But that's
and
the thing, dude. Like tonight, they should have been 5-5.
should've.
They should be 5-6 after the Bucks, 6-6 after the Raptors, and then like 7-6 after the Knicks. Like I thought
Yeah,
that was a legit possibility.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah, Knicks, Celtics, Wizards, and Grizzlies. It's not an easy schedule. The Thunder coming.
And in typical Thunder fashion, they'll shock us all and go on a win streak.
We can only hope.
They're just going to get Poku back.
That's right. Poku Nectar. I think that's a new T-shirt idea. Poku Nectar.
It could be a
And it's
really
like,
weird shirt. Get like a
Yeah.
bee.
Yes.
Make Poku like the queen bee.
Why are we making a shirt? Why don't we make like an energy drink?
Now we're talking.
Could be. Yeah. Well, we'll save that for the Sunday night show. All right. Behind the doing host stuff. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into the live stream tonight or listening to us afterwards during your morning drive. We will see you all Wednesday after the Bucks game. That is hopefully a win.
That's a Taylor game too.
Taylor game. Hey, go out and vote tomorrow, everybody.
Yes, please do.
Do your civic duty.
I would encourage you to vote for pro-education candidates, please.
Education is valuable. All right. That's all. Thank you guys for joining me. And thanks to everyone else for listening. Until next time.
You're welcome.
I am. Until next time. Adios.